What's up, guys? It's Kenzie here from Kenzie Writes. So I have worked remotely in some capacity since 2016. And I know that a lot of people are still struggling with the switch to remote work that happened because of COVID. So I wanted to share some of my tips on how to make remote collaboration less painful. The first tip is the easiest, and it's to have some kind of technology stack or tools that help you guys do better work. I actually do know some people who do work without any kind of project management software or like Google Docs. I don't know how are y'all doing? How are you doing? Because I would not do well at all. I use Asana to keep track of my assignments as well as the assignments I'm giving other people as well as my vendors. That's really streamlined everything. You can see what everyone's doing. There's no question of who needs what from you. Everything is in one platform. It's awesome. I also use chat tools like Slack. I also upgraded my Google subscription. I'm a Google person. So I bought a Google Workspace subscription. I think it's like $25 a month. It's not bad. Everybody's got their favorite technology, so I'm not here to tell you what to use, but if remote work just isn't working for you or your team, there's probably a tool out there that will make it a lot less painful and even enjoyable. The second thing that's really important with remote work is having norms. And what I mean by norms is I mean established, written, agreed upon rules. So that might include things like how you communicate with each other. For some of my clients, they only communicate via Slack. Others do it over Google Meet. These norms say when you need to communicate, how, and with what tools. And actually, if you want to take this one step further, you can even turn these norms into documented and real SOPs, and you update those frequently, look at them every quarter. It should detail not only how to complete tasks in your business, but also how to get in touch with each other and how you go about doing the work. And this third point is a big one that I am a huge fan of. It might be controversial. Hold short meetings. There's very rarely a good reason to have an hour-long meeting these days. Most meetings can be 15 to 30 minutes. But whenever I suggest to do short meetings, people inevitably ask the question, well, how do we do that? We can't do that. We need the full hour. And sometimes you do need the full hour, but I would still challenge you to try to make them shorter. So here's how you do it. If you are a Google Drive person, create a folder that you share with everyone who's ever in your meetings, and just hold all of your agendas in there. And every meeting, you create a new document for your agenda, and it needs to detail who's there, what you're talking about, what the next steps are, and make sure you include the date and the name of the document so that way you can go back and look at the meeting notes. I found agendas are really helpful for telling people what the meeting's about and keeping everyone on task. If you're still having trouble with people going off on tangents or you're going over time, you can actually assign people to run the meeting. So there'll be a facilitator who runs the whole meeting and kind of is the leader. You might have someone tracking time, someone taking notes. It's really whatever you want it to be. Sometimes you need people who take responsibility for making the meeting run better. The last way to make remote work is to set goals. So as a manager, when you are managing a remote team, you can't nickel and dime people on how much time they spend in front of the screen. They're going to be, in front of the screen for hours, and they might go do a load of laundry. It's a lot more fluid, this line between work and life. And the traditional management approach of tracking people based on them being online doesn't really work anymore. Because frankly, you want to judge them by their output to your bottom line instead of how long they're sitting there. So the best thing that you can do is set goals both for yourself and for anybody that you're working with. And you can follow the SMART goal setting framework to do that. It's goals that are specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. And what I like to do is to take my SMART goals and then plug them into a software like Asana or something that's going to remind me. And every quarter, I look at my goals. I say, have I met them? Why have I not met them? How can we be better going forward? So this is just some of the stuff that I do for remote collaboration, but I know that, I'm not the only one out there who's been doing this for a while. So if you have any tips that I haven't covered here for remote collaboration, let me know in the comments.